And welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Ings Patholkas, and sorry for that delay. There's a little bit of screw up there with all the different interfaces that I have to deal with Google. They're switching over studios and all that kind of stuff, and I literally could not find the start button. There we go. So welcome to the first of, well, we're going to go episode by episode. Futureman on Hulu. Episode 1, Season 1. And for those of you who haven't watched it yet, spoiler alert, we are going to spoil the shit out of this thing. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's a good show. It's on Hulu if you have it. If you don't have Hulu, you can do the free trial and see what you think. Season 2 is going to be happening on January 11th. So this is actually in preparation for that. I am going to be covering it. So I figured I'd go through season 1 first and try and do it day by day there and do it that way. So here we go. As you can see, my big tome of notes here that I've got. I'm just going to go through a brief recap of this thing, and then we're going to discuss it. So those of you in the chat that are there, I know you guys have been talking about this for a while. I've been talking about this for a while, and we finally got a chance to actually watch this thing. So we start off, it's December 11th, 2017. So this is last year, just in time for, Christmas. And we see Josh Futterman, or Futureman. We see Futureman rescuing some people. And then we hear, in this futuristic world, it's kind of a dystopian nightmare, if you will. And then we hear, he's saying his name, that his name is Futureman. And then we hear Joshy, and he gets woken up by his dad. He's actually having a dream. And we find out that the world that he's dreaming about is actually a video game. And it's called Biotic Wars. And Josh Futterman is his name. That's where you get your Futureman from. It's from Futterman. He's playing this game, Biotic Wars, which no one has ever won. It's an unbeatable game. It's an old game, and he had broken his controller when he got out of bed, Josh there. So he goes to the video game store, and he's buying a new controller, and the people behind the counter who know him are giving him shit. It's kind of like, the same comic book store vibe where people know you, and they're giving you crap about different things, and they're saying that the reason why he plays the game so much is because he likes spanking it to Tiger there. And it's pretty funny. So and he's just lamenting about why he plays the game, because no one has ever beaten it before. It's special. He goes, why would he want to play something like, Halo and stuff like that everyone has beaten before, or anything like that? He wants to play something that's actually a little bit more difficult that no one's ever done. No one's ever beaten before. So he goes off to work, and he's working as a janitor at Cronish Laboratories. Is what this is called. And he's a janitor there. And he also lives with his mom and dad still as well. So, not really going anywhere. And we see that while he's cleaning up some stuff, he ends up going to back into the janitorial closet where he's got a game set up, and he can play the game while he's in there. Not the best of setups. And he's still trying to beat the game. We get a little voiceover as to when this when the game takes place in 2162. And these biotics have taken over the world. Oops, sorry there. I don't mean to hit my table and start, bouncing things around there. So we end up finding out that Dr. Elias Cronish has herpes simplex, when there's nothing simple about it, obviously. And he he wants to cure it, of course. And we find out that he contracted it on the night of the moon landing at a frat party. It was a moon landing frat party for the Pi-Phi frat party. And he's using possum ejaculate in order to find the cure for this. It's pretty damn funny. So Josh ends up going home, and he's having dinner with his parents, and he's asking them, do they ever think that he could do more if they're disappointed in him? And they're like, no, we're happy with what you're doing. You're curing the world diseases. And he goes, no, I'm not. And she goes, well, you're cleaning up after him, is what his mom says, who's played by the late great Glenn Headley. She actually died not too long after this first season had wrapped up. And his father is actually Ed Begley Jr. as well. So he ends up going into his room to go and play his game, and every time he's been playing this game, he's been loading up every single weapon that he can find and going in there and getting killed almost instantly when he goes in. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to try something a little different this time around. And he takes off all the weapons off of his character, goes in, ends up beating the game. First person to beat the game. So he goes down to celebrate, tell his parents that he's done this, finished this game and all this stuff. No one's there. They're out exploring and getting snacks. And he decides to celebrate by jerking off to Tiger's poster. I can't believe I'm actually saying that for a freaking podcast. So yeah, he is in the middle of there's a joke in there that he's been jerking off to Tiger, and that his so much that his right hand should be called Siegfried. So as he says, Siegfried, it's just you and me. And he's going away at it, and there's these lights that start happening, and who shows up but Tiger and Wolf from the game. They're standing in front of him, and he ends up jerking off onto Wolf. It's all over me. And she goes, it's just a little comedy. He goes, that's a lot. So yeah, it's where this humor is coming from at this point. So this is, of course, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who are producing this, and the showrunners as well. So yeah, it's going to be in that vein of humor, and it's actually pretty damn funny. So they're explaining that he's the first person to ever beat the game, and that it's a training simulator, and that they've sent it back in time in order to recruit people. It's a recruitment tool. And he goes, oh, yeah, I get this. It's Last Starfighter. He goes, who put you up to this? So he's pretty much thinking that the guys in the video game store have hired some actors to come in and screw with them. And they said, okay, we're going to have to go back to 1969 to stop the Biotic Wars from happening. And he's like, okay, yeah, what's that? Is that an iPad? And it's a time displacement device that they have. They're going to go back to 1969. And Josh doesn't believe them. He still thinks that they're actors until everything starts swirling around him, and he appears. And by the way, sorry, I forgot to mention this too at the beginning. The house that he lives in is the family house. Like, his dad grew up there, was conceived there, as was he. So he's living in his dad's old room, and his dad is living in his parents' old room. So they go back to 1969. They appear in the house, and they're in his dad's old room at this point on the night of the moon landing, and. He bumps into his dad, of course, and his grandparents that are all watching the moon landing, and they think he's a drugged out hippie and start beating the shit out of him. I mean, just literally beating the shit out of him. And it's pretty funny. Tiger and Wolf are trying to evaluate his fighting skills to see what kind of fighting skills he has. He goes, no, it's going to kick in a minute. He goes, no. And Wolf's like, no, I don't think so. Should I help him now? And so he jumps in and beats the crap out of the Futureman family, and they get out of the house, and Josh ends up running down the street and sees that the Doors are playing at the local nearby, small little venue, like a bar or something like that. They're up on the marquee, and he realizes he's in 1969. He's like, holy shit, I've time traveled. And the nice thing about this whole series is, yes, they are using old movie tropes, Last Starfighter, Back to the Future. They even use Back to the Future's music when they go back in time, the da-da-da-da, kind of thing. And it's a nice little homage to it, as well as just being fun. I mean, you can't beat that. And so they end up going to a deli, or they're getting ready to go to a deli, and excuse me, they're asking him, what kind of useful skills do you have? Video games in our time are actually a training tool that people go into to hone their skills. So don't people in this time take on the avatar of the training skills they already have? And he goes, no, it's pure escapism. It's just entertainment. And they're like, oh, shit. Well, this whole mission's scrubbed. We got to get out of here. Just take him back to his time and get rid of him. And they're trying to ask him what kind of skills that he has too. And he goes, well, word jumble, Sudoku. And yeah, so obviously he has no skills whatsoever. They come upon some bikers, and the bikers are giving them shit because of the clothes that they're wearing. And Josh even says, hey, it's time travel 101. We need to blend in. And so what do they end up doing? They beat the shit out of the bikers, Wolf and Tiger. I mean, literally like stabbing them, knocking people out. And it's like 8 bikers that they take out, and they steal their clothes, jump on their bikes. And of course, Josh doesn't know how to ride a bike. So she's like, hop on. And they go to a deli, and Wolf was saying, oh my God, I've never seen so much food in my life. They even have it hanging from the walls. And we realize in the future that he lives in the sewer and eats garbage and rats. That's what's going on. And also what's going on is in the future in 2162, there's a cure for all diseases that has come about. And as a result, that's where the biotics have come from. And they're hunting down humans is what we've heard. And Josh, they said, okay, well, they don't know where to start. All they know is that 1969 is where this actually starts. And they mentioned the name Elias Kronish. And he goes, oh, Elias Kronish, that's my boss. I work for him. I'm like, oh, shit, it can't be this easy, or it can't be this coincidental that this is happening. And it turns out that Josh knows that on the night of the moon landing, that's when Kronish had contracted herpes at the moon landing party at the fraternity, and that's where they're going to go. So they give Josh a gun, which is a bad idea. He's looking at the gun. It goes off, of course, kills a busboy. Mayhem ensues. They end up getting outside of the deli there, and the cops are showing up, and it's 2 rookie cops on their first assignment. And what does Wolf do? He throws a mine at them and blows up their goddamn car. Yeah. And he only kills one of them. He doesn't kill both of them, luckily. And they end up riding off to Caltech to go and stop Dr. Kronish. And that's how we end episode 1, season 1. Pretty compact and really well done. And I just can't say enough about the show. I've watched the whole season. I already know how it comes about, and it builds on it. The comedy there is awesome. The production value of this is really good, and it's just a lot of fun. They did a really good world building thing. Oh, and the people that are in it too. I mean, like I said, we have Glenn Headley in there, Ed Begley Jr. We also have Haley Joel Osment. If you remember the kid from Sixth Sense, I See Dead People. He's now all grown up and he plays an asshole. And he's an asshole in pretty much most of the timelines that are coming up here. And it's just a fun show. If you like sci-fi, if you like comedy, this is something that you want to see. So I'm going to get to the chat here. Let me get that out of my way too and see what we're doing here. Yeah, Fanobi, nut shot. I love how Wolf and Tiger, when they're fighting, they're actually calling out what they're going to hit and what they're doing. It's in the game too. It's like fuck them up and things like that, and it's very, very funny. Here we go. Movie Fanobi says my father used to call him out and do tiger piss when my buddies and I drank it growing up. Yeah. There's a little scene where Josh, when he's in the janitor's closet playing the video game, and the security guard walks in and, telling him, he goes, you're really obsessed about that video game. And he goes, no, I'm not. It's not an obsession. He goes, what's that over there? That you've got a bottle of piss over there just so you don't have to go to the bathroom. He goes, it's not piss, it's apple juice. He goes, okay, well, you're really thirsty. Why don't you have a sip? It's your third favorite juice. He goes, no, I'm not thirsty right now. And yes, it is a bottle of piss is really what that is. So, Sculpted Leather Viking Bitch says, Sculpted Leather Art by Viking Bitch, says, Wolf is going to watch the 69 to make sure Futterman doesn't fuck it up. Yeah. That was the other thing too, is when they first show up, Wolf and Tiger, they said, okay, we're going to 69. And he goes, okay, right here. She's like, yeah, we're going to go 69. And he goes, okay, just us? No, Wolf's coming too. He goes, oh, I'm gonna 69 with you as well. And it turns out 69 they're going to 1969. Yeah, it was a nice little play on words. And yes, Marie Fanabi, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. So yeah, they play with the Terminator. I mean, pretty much every single time travel trope that you've seen in movies, they play with in this series, as well as other sci-fi aspects as well. It's a lot of fun. It's just really a lot of fun. I can't recommend this enough. Uh, yeah. Slurmy Scott, my friend has herpes in his eyelid. How do you suppose that happened? I'm not going to say. So, but I think we all know. And yeah, Viking Bitch, I was really disappointed. Glenn Headley is one of those great actresses who really morphs into whatever character she plays. And I loved when so the timelines that we're going to get in this, we have little changes to the timelines that do happen and have consequences when you go back to the future or the past, and you see how these different things happen. And she actually morphs into different personas, if you will, and that was what was great about her. And she was a great actress, so she is definitely going to be missed for season 2. And Ed Begley Jr. as well. I don't know if they're bringing his character back. I hope they do. So, where are we? Kato Roan says, "What the fuck? Your browser does not currently recognize any of the video formats available." Okay, the refresh fixed it. There we go. Good. Yeah, I don't know what Google is doing with their studios stuff now with YouTube, but it's really funky. But everyone can hear me fine too, correct? I hope so, because I've got this thing cranked up to 11 as much as possible. Yeah. Hashtag just say no to urethra swabs. Yeah, swabbing the urethra of possums for herpes, that's pretty disgusting. And I say this as someone that has worked in labs before. So, yeah, that is something I would not do. But so what did everyone think about this? I mean, I know most of you have watched it and been waiting for a review of this. So for me, this first episode is probably an 8 out of 10. I mean, not the best thing in the world that I've ever seen, but it's a good start. It's a really good start. And I know where it goes from here, and some stuff actually gets a lot better. All I'm going to say is the James Cameron episode. James Cameron, yes, is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, those urethras won't swab themselves. Definitely not. Okay, so Kato, so you haven't seen this yet, Kato Roan, right? Is this your first time you've started watching this series? And yeah, the first episode does pull you right in. I mean, it gives you the story right away. They dive right into it. There's no wasted, and you haven't seen it before. Great. Yeah, you are not going to be disappointed, man. It is really damn funny. Like I said, there's a whole episode dedicated to James Cameron that it's my favorite episode of the season. And I had to rewind so many times because I was laughing so hard and had to rewind to rewatch it. So, yeah, Viking Bitch, same thing. When I saw the preview for the show too, I was like, yeah, I don't know. Do I want to see this? It doesn't look great. It's based off, some guy playing video games. What the hell? And but no, after I watched it, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm hooked. This is definitely something I need to see. And honestly, like I said, it's Rogen and Goldberg again, or Goldman, excuse me, that are the showrunners on this, and they've done Preacher, Happy. They are also doing The Boys right now, so they're working on that. It's that vein of humor that if you aren't with that, then it probably isn't going to be good for you. But if you really like it, then definitely this is going to be something that you're going to like. And Movie Funobi says, they say movies set the tone and expectations in the opening scenes. This is a wonderful, funny start and describes the tone and themes perfectly. Fun shit for sure. Yeah, it really does set the tone of how things are going to go. And those cops that you saw at the end of the first episode there are going to play into things as well. That's all I'm going to say. So I won't spoil since Kato hasn't seen the rest of the episodes there. So, thank you for coming back. And bearing with my technical difficulties here. I'm gonna do episode 2 probably tomorrow morning. I'll try and shoot for 11 this time around again. And this time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to set the stream and do it that way, because setting everything up early on just doesn't seem to work with the way they have things set up at the moment. So with that said, I will see you guys again tomorrow at 11 for episode 2. And until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.